woman sent her husband to the well, but when she pulled him up again, the husband turned into a box of gold. At first, the man wanted to dig a well, but as he dug, the bottom of the well suddenly began to collapse. The two sisters managed to pull the man up, only to find that the well had turned into a bottomless pit. The man was curious and hoisted the oil lamp down, wanted to find out, but suddenly the lamp seemed to be pulled by something. It began to slide rapidly, but the man used all his strength again, pulled the rope up. I did not expect, just put down the oil lamp turned into a jar. They were curious to open the jar to check, but found that it was filled with gold. And this good thing, the men hurriedly took out all their savings, go to the market to buy oil lamps. After the man left, the two sisters found a note in the jar. It said that the whole lie came down. In order to test the authenticity of the note, the two sisters went to the hen together. The poor old hen was sent down in this way. The rope also began to fall again, but the two sisters still pulled the rope. When they pulled the rope up again, the hen turned into a jar again. Opened the jar to see. There was a jar full of gold again. The husband also came back with a car full of oil lamps. The man put all the oil lamps at the bottom of the well. I thought I could make a lot of money this time, but it pulled up the rope and found that the oil lamp was still oil lamp. It did not turn into gold. This made the man furious because he had just bought the oil lamp. The man was furious because he had just paid for the oil lamp with all his money. The angry man cursed at the well lamp. He told his wife to pour out all the oil lamps from the bucket, while he went into the bucket and fished out all the gold below. But when the two women pulled the rope up again, the man was also turned into a bucket full of gold. There was another note inside. It said, "Keep sending this to me." The two sisters were thinking about where to get another person down there. The sister's asthmatic husband of 30 years suddenly coughed. The two sisters had the same idea. With a wicked smile, they sent the man down. Soon they got hundreds of pounds of gold in exchange. But the two sisters were not satisfied. In order to make more money, they found the sheriff again. The two sisters exchanged a bag of money to the sheriff in exchange for a body. Looking at the gold, the sheriff had to do as he was told. The next day, a tightly wrapped corpse was delivered. The sheriff also got the gold without any problem. The sheriff was curious and asked what they were doing with the body. But the sisters told the sheriff to shut up, tell him to just take the money and stay out of the way in order to get more gold. Every day the sheriff was either looking for the body or on the way to find the body. If he couldn't find a body, he simply killed a homeless man. At night, the two sisters were sleeping. The sister heard a commotion in the house and got up to check. She saw a dark figure in the house. The sister rushed to wake up her sister, thought they had seen a ghost in the house. But after turning on the light, she found that the sheriff, who was obsessed with money, had come to the door. The sheriff saw so much money, he wanted to take it for himself and grabbed his sister by the neck. Just when several people argued endlessly, a lightning bolt suddenly fell from the sky, immediately after the door was opened by a mysterious force. The next second, a black shadow appeared in front of them. Several people frowned in place and were scared to move. The sheriff hurriedly said, "Do not move. He seems to be invisible to us." But the sheriff's brother did not believe it. "You do not let me move. I will move." The next second, the man was taken by the monster to the northwest, only left behind a floor of clothes. And the monster also left 8 big words on the wall. "Don't let the police well starve." Seeing that the matter could no longer be hidden, the two sisters had to tell the sheriff the truth. But the sheriff's eyes lit up after hearing it, because he thought of an evil plan. He gathered all the villagers and held a bonfire. The villagers were stealing the joy of happiness, but unbeknownst to them, the sheriff secretly pushed down a power pole. The next moment, the sharp wire instantly cut off all the villagers. The villagers were taken to heaven. Seeing so many corpses fall down in front of him, he hurriedly put the bodies into the deep pit. The sheriff also obtained more than 800 tons of gold. But when the two sisters asked the sheriff, how should the gold be distributed, the sheriff told her to go up and listen to the sound coming from the bottom of the well. The next moment, she was pushed into the well by the sheriff. The sister saw this and rushed to avenge her sister's death. But unfortunately, she was also pushed into the pit by the sheriff. This time, all the gold was the sheriff's own. He greedily picked up the gold in the basket and admired it. But would it really be as he wished? After all, there is no gold falling from the sky. A few years later, a group of young people heard that there was treasure here. So they came here to look for the treasure. They came to a deserted house, but suddenly they found something behind the curtains. The two men trembled and went up to check. The result was that a little old man with white hair came out. It turned out that he was the sheriff. Over the years, he has been tortured by the monster, and the deep well is no longer the same. And the monster was also attracted by these young people to come. "Look at this monster." The sheriff warned the crowd not to move. Otherwise, the monster will be taken away. The result is that it could not hold back a sneeze. The sheriff is now completely cold. The crowd was so scared that they did not move, even though the monster deliberately created illusion interference. Several people also deliberately create a card to attract their attention, but a few people did not move, have been with the monster so spent until dawn. This successfully escaped a disaster. Well, this video is over. See you in the next video.